We finally got ourselves an update for Sonic Origins, guys. Well, an unofficial update, because this did not come from SEGA. So that will leave some room for the credibility of the information to be debated, as is typically the case with leaks and rumors and all that stuff. So, you know the drill. Take it with a grain of salt until we know better. Although at this point, we've taken so many of these things with grains of salt that we might need to get out a salt shaker. I swear this happens more in the Sonic community than anywhere else. Let's get right to it. Last weekend, the leaker Zippo, who's practically become a household name in the Sonic community for their leaks and such, put up a blog post containing a tiny Sonic Origins update, as the title of his latest post will reflect. This next post is a blend of old and new information alike. It repeats something we already known about or strongly suspected to be true, but it also throws in some new stuff that has definitely caught my attention, and I have high hopes that this leak will hold up. First of all, why has SEGA provided absolutely no updates about Sonic Origins since a year ago? Well, the first part of this leak might have given us our answer to that question. The development of this thing has been a total mess, to quote Zippo. There's been quite a few starts and stops, but they finally have things going at a constant pace now. Development seems to be going well, last I heard. About flippin' time, right guys? I have to wonder what exactly could have stalled the development process for Sonic Origins so much. What exactly happened? I'm not a developer myself, but I totally get that game development is rarely ever a straightforward process. And given that these games are being remade rather than simply ported, a lot more resources would need to be devoted towards development for Sonic Origins than many would have suspected. It isn't as simple as simply porting games intended for old generation consoles onto the current platforms and calling it a day. A lot more work than that would need to be done. And then you also have to count in the new feature that they're planning on adding through Origins. But even so, what could have slowed down the development process to the point that Sonic Origins wouldn't be out before the second movie drops in a couple of weeks? I really would have liked them to be able to time the release of Origins with the movie, because it is heavily based on the classics and the adventure games. Speaking of which, where's the Adventure Collection, Sega? We've been waiting for that for years! Unfortunately, in spite of what recent rumors might have suggested, although I'm not sure where those rumors came from, Sonic Origins won't be out in time for the second movie or for some time after its release. This I'm fine with, for as long as it's for quality purposes, and the game does not have a post-release crisis like what Sonic Colors Ultimate got. That would suck if that would have happened twice in a row. And with Sonic being on the rise lately, that simply can't happen. Now, this leak doesn't go into any detail on why the development process for Origins got stalled so often, but it does mention other things that we're gonna go over. Sonic 3 is a full-on remake, like the retro engine games before it. This we already knew about, as the idea behind Origins was to remake the classic games for modern platforms, but it is still nice to see a statement specifically for Sonic 3. A game that we believe would never see the light of day again, when it didn't get a re-release from SEGA for 11 years. Yes, 11 years. Its last known re-release was as a Steam port in early 2011. A fact I've gone over in my Return to Sonic 3 video, in case you guys would like to give that a look. While I'm thinking about it, I think Sonic CD went for a fairly long time without being re-released as well, but it didn't have as many legal obstacles to go through like Sonic 3 did, if there were any at all. The only one I know about concerned the opening theme from a Japanese and European release of Sonic CD that played during the opening cutscene, but that was far more easily resolved by simply omitting the lyrics and then releasing the song as normal. Sonic 3, by comparison, was a much trickier situation that would take a lot more effort to resolve. And obviously it has been, because it's getting re-released in Origins. I can tell you guys this, the current generation of gamers will be in for a pleasant surprise. As long as they don't get screwed over by the Barrel of Doom and Carnival Night Zone, that's the only thing I'm really worried about. Apparently Origins is being made by a very, and I mean very small team. I could count the number of people involved with 2 hands. The team assembled is very capable though. Zippo does not mention the name of his team in specific, so there is really not a lot I can say here, except that I hope his confidence in them is justified. Then again, I don't think there were that many people working on Sonic Mania either, and we all know how that story ended. So, it's not always about numbers, it's about the capabilities of each member of the team. Of course, with Sonic Mania, we had an idea of who was working on it at the time, so we had every reason to be confident. With Origins, it's different. We don't know who's working on it, but it's definitely not Sonic Team since they're currently busy with Sonic Frontiers. Just imagine though, what if Christian Whitehead was brought back on board to work on Sonic Origins? He would finally get to realize his vision of a current day release for Sonic 3. He even had a prototype of his mobile version back when he was working on similar releases for Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Sonic CD. But of course that got shot down by SEGA because of the whole soundtrack thing, which was ridiculous, but not really something they could have controlled at the time, I guess. But at this time, I don't think Christian Whitehead has dropped any hints suggesting that he could be working on Sonic Origins, not that I'm aware of anyway. So if I were you, I wouldn't get your hopes up. It would certainly make sense if he were working on Origins, but with SEGA, you never can tell what they'll do. Sonic Origins will feature quality of life updates such as a drop dash in Sonic CD and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Well, 28 years after the first release of Sonic 3, they're finally adding in the drop dash, which they scrapped during development of the game. A fact that many of you might not have been aware of. I know I wasn't up until recently. Why did they ever scrap it, man? If Sonic Mania was anything to go by, it would have been perfect for Sonic 3. But no, they had to go with the Insta-Shield instead, which to be fair was every bit as useful, at least in Sonic 3. In Mania, it wasn't as necessary. The drop dash was more definitive for Sonic Mania in my opinion. But as for what other quality of life updates we can expect, this leak doesn't mention any of them, so we can only speculate. The music situation is exactly the same as before. Don't expect the Michael Jackson music to show up here. As much as it will cause a split in the Sonic community out of the interest in staying faithful to what Sonic 3 was originally intended for, this I can completely understand. It was ultimately a necessary price to pay if it meant bringing Sonic 3 back to the forefront for today's generation of gamers. I'll miss the Michael Jackson music, but I've also listened to the prototype music and I think it's pretty good too, especially the Ice Cap prototype music. I recommend giving it a listen before you make your judgments. There's been talk about a special collector's edition of some sort, but I'm actually unsure if that's gotten off of the ground or not. As no confirmation was given here, there's not a lot I have to say about this, except that I hope a collector's edition does happen. And finally, the leak ends off by mentioning something that I was completely unprepared for, and I'm now super hopeful will be a thing for Origins. It will feature a gorgeous animated intro. Oh boy! Yeah, sorry, my Ben Schwartz impression was subpar there. If you liked Manias, then you'll definitely like this one. If the opening for Origins is of a similar quality that we see in Tyson Hess's work for Sonic Mania, then you bet your I will like it. On top of that, I don't think any of the Sonic classics, except for Sonic CD, came with an opening cutscene, so this is entirely new for them, and it will definitely breathe new life into the package. And the only question is, who is working on the opening cutscene? Well, as much as I want to hope it's Tyson Hess, it probably won't be, because something we need to keep in mind is that he's currently involved in working on the Sonic movies alongside Paramount. He's been helping with the design for Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, as we all know. And now that a third Sonic movie and a Knuckles spin-off have been announced, chances are he'll be involved in both those projects also. And before that, he published animated shorts preceding the releases of Sonic Mania Plus, Team Sonic Racing, and Sonic Colors Ultimate. You know, seeing as SEGA has seemingly adopted the pattern of putting out animated shorts before releasing their next Sonic game, maybe that trend will continue with Sonic Origins and Sonic Frontiers? Yes, please! But right now it's not known if Tyson Hess will be able to find the time in his schedule to help work on the intro with Sonic Origins, or if he's even who SEGA has in mind at all. Zippo could not give a name or a face to the team working on Sonic Origins, so like everything else about the game, this remains just as uncertain. As far as what I would like to see in the intro, I love the one in Mania, but instead of running through a dimension where Sonic finds portal rings leading to the worlds featured in the classic games, I'd like to see the worlds from the classic games themselves featured in the intro, where Sonic and company run through a collection of them. Like just imagine running through Spring Yard Zone, or Labyrinth Zone, Aquatic Ruin Zone, Mystic Cave Zone, and any other zones featured in Sonic 3, Sonic CD, and so on and so forth. More likely Green Hill will be included because let's face it, it's so significant to Sonic's history. Even though we all are tired of it at this point, it's definitely gonna show up. I'm calling it. And for Sonic CD's choice of stage, it would definitely have to be Stardust Speedway. For one reason only. Metal Sonic. It's possible I might be biased also because Stardust Speedway is my favorite Sonic stage, period? But just like with Green Hill, it carries significance to the history of Sonic, largely because of Metal Sonic, so yeah, it definitely needs to be in the Origins intro. Well guys, that does it for the latest update from Zippo. If you were hoping for a time frame as to when Sonic Origins would be announced and released by SEGA, you're out of luck because Zippo himself does not know. Which means the waiting game continues. Yeah, I know. It's as frustrating for me as it undoubtedly is for the rest of you. But if this leak is accurate, and SEGA is only just getting around to smoothing out the development process for Sonic Origins, we may not hear anything more about it until after Sonic Frontiers releases, which is crazy because I figured that at best it would have been the other way around. What with the groundwork with the classics having already been established and all. But like I said earlier, plans do change during development, even during the last minute. So in other words, things happen. What do you think of this leak? Do you think it's accurate or do you think it's just hot air? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, if you enjoyed my content, I'd appreciate it if you dropped a like and consider subscribing and ringing that bell to stay up to date on my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the Sonic movie when it drops in like 2 weeks. 2 freaking weeks. It's not gonna be that long, people. We're about to be in for the best video game movie the world has ever seen. Anyway, I'll see y'all next time. Take care. Don't forget, blue blurs for life. I'll see y'all later.